Right, well, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Mady. I'm here under the premise of the Growth Studios, which is a marketing agency, focusing mainly on marketing services, digital marketing, and we're just going to run through quite a number of things, the kind of basics of marketing, and then moving into focusing on digital marketing as a whole, and then a little bit on advertising as well. So we're going to start with a show of hands. I hope everyone's had their coffees, just to understand who's in the room and what stage your businesses are at. So if your business has a website, I want you to put your hands up. Good, right? I want you to keep your hands up if your business has a Facebook page, Instagram page, LinkedIn, if you've ever done any search engine optimization. Last one standing here. Oh, is your hand still up? Kind of. Okay. If you've ever done any paid advertising. So we've got 3 up. Okay. Okay, good. Well, you're in the right place. We've got a whole section on that. Kira, you had your hand up as well. So how's your experience of paid advertising?
Yeah, so over the years I've worked with different agencies and different individuals doing the paid ads, and I'd go at doing it myself as well.
Yeah.
And I've definitely noticed a difference when particularly people are doing it.
Yeah.
And for me it's always brought like a really good return on investment. Organic reach has been great to kind of nurture my existing community, but paid ads has always brought in brand new people,
okay,
which is always important.
Definitely. Good, excellent. So before we kind of even get into the digital marketing or social media marketing part, I think one of the really important things I wanted to talk about was understanding who your customer type is and your objectives as a business if you want to grow. So the 3 categories are people that know that they need you, people that don't know that they need you, and people that already know you. So people that know that they need you, using the example of a dentist, this would be an individual that has got tooth pain, a chipped tooth. They know that they need someone to take a look at it. They're going to research which dentists are close to them, and whoever ranks highest on Google or whoever has the highest reviews is probably going to get that client. The second bucket is people that don't know that they need you. So using the example of a dentist again, this could be dentists that are offering teeth whitening services. What you're going to do then is you're going to push out your message to a certain area that says, we offer teeth whitening for 50% off, or we offer teeth hygiene appointments for 50% off. And then the third bucket is people that already know you. So these will be your existing or past customers. And in those examples, you'd be looking to up or cross-sell to these individuals, offering them various discounts and rewarding them for their loyalty. So just taking a little bit of a step back and looking at it in more detail. So people that know that they need you. So if you think about, if you have a leak in your kitchen, you know that you need a plumber, you're going to go onto Google, you're going to find anyone that has been highly reviewed or has 24-hour access or emergency services to come out and fix your leak. How are you going to do that? Well, you're going to do it by ranking high on Google, SEO optimization, which a few of you said that you've already done. Blogs work really, really well for that as well. And you'd also consider Google Ads. So the goal here is to be at the very top of Google when people are searching for a solution to their problem. And then the second bucket, so people that don't know that they need you. Typically what you'd be doing is going forward with your best or most enticing offer. And a really important part of this is we use something called trial and acquisition mechanics. So the goal is you're going to bring them in so they can trial your service, they can understand how good it is, and off the back of that, you're hoping to then turn them into a longer term client. How will you do it? So typically through Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, you're going to find these individuals. Testimonials and collab posts do really, really well as well. And meta advertising also performs really well. So we'll go into all of these things in much more detail in the presentation. And then people that already know you. So we talked about who they are. How will you reward them? How will you interact with them? Definitely email and SMS marketing. So another question, another show of hands, how many people have got email databases in their business? Everybody has. Good. How many of you are actively sending emails to your database? Okay, all right, good ratio, good ratio. And organic social media is also really, really effective here. So you want to be rewarding your community, your kind of trusted and most loyal customers. Is that clear for everyone? Yeah? Good. Another burning question. So does digital marketing even matter? I hear all sorts of challenges from different clients and different businesses and different sectors, and they tend to get quite fed up with digital marketing, actually. I think it can be such a confusing space. And typically owner-operators of businesses wear so many hats that it's difficult to find time for digital marketing. I think I put 4 facts down about digital marketing. So these are not opinions, these are facts as to why they are important. So the first one being digital credibility. So digital presence builds trust before contact. If you don't have reviews online, if you've got poor visuals, if you've got outdated posts or a lack of presence, it will mean that you'll lose the lead. So a practical example of this would be, let's talk about the plumber example. So someone's got a leak in their kitchen, you're going to go online, you're going to search for a business. Even if you rank highly on Google and someone clicks on your website, if it's a poor website, if the visuals are poor, if there's no reviews on there, if there's no contact number, you're going to lose that customer. It's going to go to somebody else. So that's digital credibility. Digital marketing is also hugely powerful when it comes to showcasing your products or your services. So good visuals and storytelling can sell before a conversation even starts. It's where people see what you do, how well you do it, and what makes you different. So some of you may have heard of the rise of TikTok Shop. Yeah? So this is where very real people are talking about their experiences with a product or a service. And then off the back of that, whoever is selling that product or service is making a lot of money. Why does it work? It works because it's real, it's authentic. And that storytelling capability of social media is very, very, very powerful. Long gone are the days of a polished advert where people are kind of saying, come and join our choir. It's probably going to be more effective if you've got Stacey walking out of the choir and kind of saying, I've just had the best evening. So your ability to showcase your product or your service is very, very important when it comes to digital marketing. SEO benefits, so this is search engine optimization benefits. Essentially, it means being able to be seen online. When people are looking for the service or the product that you provide, can they find you? So the more you're active and relevant online, the easier it is for customers to find you. And this is absolutely free. You don't have to pay for this. So consistent posting and good website structure will help you appear higher in search results. And we'll go into this in a little bit more detail as well. Probably the most powerful thing when it comes to digital marketing is its ability as an advertising platform. So if you think back, probably not that long ago, there will have been companies spending money on billboards and magazine print in the hope that somebody was going to call up the number that they've put there or scan the QR code. In today's world, it's massively different. So even small budgets can reach thousands of the right people with measurable results. It's no longer about who shouts the loudest, it's about who targets the smartest. So how many people saw the adverts for this event? I know that you did. You did. Okay, so two of the people in the room have seen those adverts. When we've run adverts, we've said we want an 8-mile radius of Bury Football Club. We want a certain demographic of individual. To be able to replicate that through billboards or sponsorship it's chalk and cheese, it's night and day. There's no comparison. You can be incredibly effective when it comes to digital advertising, if you're doing it right. All right, so a quiz to make sure you're all paying attention. So think about what platforms you're going to go to if you want to find a solicitor. Any takers? James, I'll start. Ooh.
Probably go on Google.
Google, any other takers?
Google.
Everyone going with Google? Correct, well done. All right, and if you're looking to buy a house, where are you going?
Similar. You go if it's something fun and yeah, you probably go social media. But if it's something serious, you probably go Google.
Google, okay. I did hear one right move at the back. Any others for right move?
Yeah.
Well done. All right, and finding a plumber. I've already given the answer to this through the presentation. Oh, okay, that's a good one. Check a trade. Any others? Facebook? Facebook groups. Okay. All right.
Something like that, feel like you'd ask a friend.
Ask a friend is also, yeah. So there's, yeah. So there's no right answer to this, and I'm saying that because I put Google, but check a trade has come up quite a few times, so perhaps that would be. Buying a bikini.
Yeah, TikTok shop, Instagram. That is something fun. It's not serious.
Good. Yep, I put Instagram there as well. So the really important thing is to consider the placement of your ads and your content. So where are your ideal clients likely to be? And more importantly, what is their mindset in that moment? If they're actively searching for you, then you need to be making sure that you're showing up on Google. If you are going forward with an offer, then you can push that onto them through social media channels. Good. And then just very quickly, I wanted to talk about the kind of the top 3 platforms at a glance as well. So I think we're going to send this deck out to everyone who attends anyway, so don't worry too much about the detail. I think one of the really important rows here is that second row. So comparing Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. So looking at Facebook, typically it's an older audience, 30 to 60 plus, loyal and locally focused. So for Facebook as a platform, you'd be focusing on using groups and events to stay connected, and it's great for building relationships with a local community. And then secondly, Instagram. Was that the coffee machine? I wonder what that noise was. Looking at Instagram, so a slightly younger audience, 20 to 45, very, very visually driven consumers. So this platform is ideal for lifestyle, product or transformation stories. It's great for showing your personality through visuals. And then finally, TikTok, younger still, so 18 to 35. Here's where you can find the early adopters, trend followers, and probably trend setters as well, actually. So great for brand awareness and showing your people or your process. One thing that is really important about TikTok is this final point here. So it's best suited for discovery because you can reach new audiences easily. So what that means is with Instagram and Facebook, when you post on Instagram and Facebook, Meta will hold that content back. With TikTok, it pushes it out to many, many more people. So if you're starting out, then this is a very easy way of reaching new audiences very, very quickly. I will just say it has to be suitable for what you're selling as well. So if I'm an accountant, it's very unlikely that I'm going to choose my accountant based on what I've seen on TikTok. So it can serve a purpose, but you must always be aware of what it is that you're selling and where people are going to be when they're looking for your service. All right. And then I think this is the final slide on the kind of fundamentals of marketing. So is that clear? Can everyone see that? Yeah? So before you market, it's making sure that you're getting the basics right. So we talked about websites. Your website is your digital shopfront. You've got to make sure it's clear, mobile friendly, and loads quickly. Before anybody invests any time or money in marketing, it's hugely important that your website is correct. I know that goes without saying to most people, but you'd be surprised at the number of people that will pour their resources into social media before they've optimized their website. The second one is clarity in what it is that you do. So in one sentence, what do you sell and who is it for? This will then form the basis of your social media strategy, your advertising strategy, hugely important. And yeah, if you're not able to explain what you sell and who it's for in one sentence, you've got a really good opportunity to fix that. The third point is putting yourself in the shoes of your potential customer or your client. So if you Google your business, what shows up? Are your photos, reviews and bios consistent and professional? For me, this is, again, it's part of the audit process of taking on new clients. How many people have Googled their business recently? Good. All right, everyone's on it. And then the final point here is tracking. So understanding where your customers come from. Obviously, you should be asking every customer, how did you hear about us? But there are really powerful free analytics tools that you can use. So Google Analytics and Meta Insights, so that you can understand where your traffic comes from, where are customers finding you. Once you understand that, it allows you to start to plan out where you should invest your time and your money. So typically for Google Analytics, you'll be able to see people that are coming directly to your website. So they already know who you are and they're typing it into Google. And then beyond that, you'll see organic search results. So that means someone said, I need to find a plumber, and you'll rank high enough for those search terms to show. And then there'll be referrals as well. So if you have email systems, people will be opening your emails and clicking through to your website. Really, really important to understand that, because you can understand where you perform well and where you need to do a little bit more work. Good. So into the kind of content part of the presentation. So photo versus video gets loads of publicity, and it has done for a while. So I know a lot of businesses struggle to move into the video part. So I've just plotted out some of the kind of key points when it comes to photo versus video. So obviously with video, you have the ability to tell stories and showcase real people. So thinking back to the TikTok example that we gave, one of the most effective marketing tools that you can use is very, very raw and authentic videos of experiences. Video naturally lends itself very well to that versus photo. Another key statistic here is that 50% of time spent on Instagram is spent watching video, which is, for me, I think that's a really, really surprising statistic. But what does that mean when you think about it in terms of Instagram? If Instagram or Meta understands that people are hungry and thirsty for video, it's going to promote video content over photo. So a really important thing to understand. And then finally with video, you've got incredibly powerful retargeting capabilities. So when your business comes to the phase where they're ready to advertise, you're then able to say to Meta, right, I'm going to push out video 1, and I've got a second piece of communication I want to send, but I only want to send it to people that have watched the first video in full. So this becomes incredibly powerful for you, and it's not something that you can replicate in photo. So going on to photo, that's a bit small, so I'm going to zoom in. So Instagram influencer engagement rates by post type. So this is how engaged people are with particular post types. The first one is text posts, photo posts, carousel posts, and videos or reels at the bottom. So obviously you can see this reinforces the fact that Instagram is going to be pushing video much harder than it is photo. But photo still serves a purpose. First and foremost, it gives you an ability to showcase your products and your services. So if you are, for example, an e-commerce brand selling dresses, then to be able to have a catalogue of your products on Instagram, you typically do it through photos. With carousels as well, you can tell stories quite well. So you've got an ability to have sequential messaging, so where people are having to slide along, and you can deliver your message in the order that you want them to understand it. And therefore you have great nurturing capabilities. And one hack that we use quite often is that if you're really struggling to get video content out there, by simply animating photos with text, you can kind of fool the system to think that it's actually a video.
How do you do that?
So there'll be tools that you can use, and actually I'll talk about it a bit later on the slide, but you can use tools like Canva, and you can ask Canva to just animate text over the photo and export it as a video. Definitely something to do. I think even if you have video, animating text over photo is a really good way of kind of getting some engagement. All right, so some examples here, the good, the bad and the ugly. So I'm going to zoom in, and these are 4 just random Instagram accounts, and I'd love to know your view on what you think they're doing well, what you think they're doing poorly. So we're going to start with, let's start here actually. So we're going to start with Barley Content. So maybe I'll start with this one actually. So you can see that the name, so this is a production house based out of Bali, and you can see that the name is Barley Content Creators. So I'm thinking, if people are going on Instagram to find a photographer or a videographer, what are they likely to search for? Well, probably Barley Content Creators. If I then go into their bio, it clearly explains who they are. It explains the services that they offer. I can see that they've got some hashtags in there as well, which will benefit how they show up on Instagram when it comes to the search function. And then they've got a clear call to action that says, you can see our work and our rates here, barleycontent.com. And I can see they've got 54 posts and it all looks pretty much the same kind of theme. So how would we rate that Instagram page? Good, bad or ugly? Yeah, all right, great. And then another one that I've got here. So this is the Good Estate Agent SK9. And the Instagram headline is Tracy Patton, which I assume is the lady who owns this Instagram account. Looks like they're into property sales, property lettings. Got a few what looks like postcodes there. And the grid is just a sign of welcome to Handforth posted over and over again. Good, bad or ugly? Ugly? Ugly and bad or just ugly?
Ugly and bad.
Ugly and bad, okay. I hope you don't see this, Tracy. And then we've got one more here. So Power and Revive Studio. So this looks like some kind of gym. Oh, there we go. The studio for group workouts in Canggu. They've got an offer there, 3 days unlimited for 550,000. Group fitness, open gym and recovery. And they've got a clear call to action. They've got highlights as well. They've got some pinned posts as well. So what are we saying? Good, bad or ugly? Good. All right, perfect. And I'm going to pick on myself a little bit here as well. So the growth studios, so you can see again in the headline here, it's very clear what's being offered. So digital advertising and lead generation. It's really important to put the name of the business as well, because if people go onto Instagram to search for the name of your business, you're going to show up. Bit of a headline there. We simplified digital marketing, digital advertising, website optimization, lead generation, a link to the website, and then it looks like their grid. Yep, it's all the fonts match, all the colors match. So we're going with good, bad or ugly. Oh, come on, you're allowed to. So that's, I guess, its most basic level. It's a case of making sure, I'm just going to use this one here as the example, making sure that the name of the Instagram account is, you need to think about what will people be looking for when they're on Instagram. What are they going to be searching for? So are they going to be looking for Barley content creators if they're looking for a photographer? What are those search terms? To be really, really clear as to what you offer here as well, because this also plays a part in search engine optimization. Now, one of the brilliant things about Instagram is that it's actually not long ago that they changed this. When you Google Barley content creators, it will show Instagram results. So we're now at a phase where social media is feeding into kind of Google search results as well. So incredibly important. And then just to make sure that the grid has some kind of branding and the photo and the video does kind of match. It does not need to be perfect, but for it to look professional, you want to be using the same fonts and the same colors. If you think about something that we talked about a little bit earlier in the presentation, where there might be people that already know that they need you. They might already be looking for you. When they get to your Instagram page, what you're trying to do is convince them that you're credible. You're not necessarily selling to them at this stage, but if they come to this page and they see that your photos are poor or you've posted the same images time and time again, they're going to go, it's not quite right, and they're going to look for somebody else. So just recapping on that, the absolute bare minimum is to make sure that you've got at least 12 posts on your Instagram account. And I wouldn't even say that you need to be posting weekly for the bare minimum. You just need to make sure that something exists. You need to make sure that you have product showcases on there, you've got client reviews, and you've got sector-related tips. But the key point for the bare minimum is to just make sure that your headlines are correct, you've thought about your search engine optimization, and you've got some content on your grid. The level up from that is posting at least once a week with a clear visual theme. And then you can start to move into content that is around client testimonials, product or service in action, or educational reels. And then a great example will be if you're posting at least 3 times a week, including videos and stories, and moving into things like behind the scenes, founder stories, or special offers. So really leaning into telling your story through video. All right, and tools to stay on top of it. So all of the tools that I put on here are free. These are the exact tools that the agency uses as well. So starting with Canva, has everyone used Canva? Yep. So Canva is basically a free design tool, but the key difference here is that it's incredibly user-friendly. You also have hundreds of templates. So if you wanted to create a presentation for a marketing seminar, you literally put that into Canva. It will give you templates that you can then change the content of. So incredibly useful. Later or later.com, this is a scheduling tool for social media. So this is something that I use, and we know how difficult it can be to get onto Instagram to create posts and then post them and whatnot. With Later, you can bulk upload all of your content. So instead of it being as and when you need it, logging on to Instagram and posting, you can spend a day of the month, for example, to upload all of your content, and then Later will schedule that content for you.
Is there any costs involved?
There isn't. All of these are free. All of these are free. All right. And then the next one is ChatGPT, which you've all heard of. Outside of the obvious, I think ChatGPT can be incredibly powerful when it comes to setting your social media strategy as well. So the prompts that we would typically use is to say, I am XYZ business, so I'm a digital marketing business. I would like to attract clients that are looking for new customers, create a 1-month posting schedule for me. And ChatGPT will give you all of the answers that you can then fine tune off the back of it. And then the final one is Pexels. So this is a stock photo and video website. So you can find anything on there. So this is, believe it or not, pictures or videos that people have taken and uploaded, and you can use them for free. The way that I would use all of these tools is once I've got my strategy that's been set by ChatGPT, I would then go to Pexels to find the photo and the video that we need, go into Canva to make sure that I'm using the same fonts and the same colors and the same kind of branding, upload it all to Later, and then you can forget about it for a month. So it can be quite simple once you get familiar with all of these tools. Are any of those tools new for anybody? Have you heard of all of them before?
I hadn't actually heard of Later.
You hadn't heard of Later.
Is that for all social media, or is it just Instagram?
It's for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Yeah. We did have a chat last night, though. We weren't sure if it's still free or not. So
I think there's 2 options. I think that the free one will give you a week, like you can do a week in advance, but if you want to do like a month, it's a paid subscription.
yeah. And even then, it's not too expensive anyway. Good. All right. So now we're going to go into the advertising phase. So everything we've talked about so far has been kind of the foundations of marketing and organic or social media marketing. But where digital marketing really becomes insanely powerful is when it comes to advertising. So there are four reasons why you might consider advertising. So acquisition. So if you want to reach a new audience very, very quickly, then you would look at advertising online. We've already talked about powerful audience targeting. So you can say, I want to serve these adverts or these offers to a 5-mile radius of my shop, or where we hold our choir, for example. You also have exceptional abilities to educate people. So storytelling through video, or your ability to explain your services in depth when it comes to advertising. Re-engaging as well. So we already talked about behavior-based targeting. Well, no, actually we didn't. So when it comes to advertising on Meta, I can put in details to say not only their age or where they live or whether they're male or female. You can also put in interest-based or behavior-based targeting. So what does that mean? That means that you can target people that have pets, for example. You can target people that only have a certain level of iPhone or newer. You can target people based on whether they like traveling a lot, whether they like shopping online a lot. So when you think about this and compare it to traditional advertising, which would be a billboard on a road somewhere, we can get so targeted with digital advertising that your cost to advertise becomes incredibly cheap in reality, if you're doing it properly. And for me, direct response, so this is probably one of the biggest business reasons to consider advertising. You get an immediate response to your ads. So in a matter of days, you're able to understand if advertising is going to be profitable for you or not. It's no longer a case of, as I've said, buying a sign that you've got to have on there for 3 months and hoping that the phone rings. In a matter of days, you will start to understand whether advertising is going to work for you. And with that comes huge optimization opportunities. So let's use the example of the bikinis. If I run an advert for a bikini company, if people are clicking on the advert, getting to the website and then dropping off, that means there's probably a problem with the website. If I'm then going to go and fix the website and run adverts again, I'm going to see, right, people are clicking on my adverts, they're going to the website, they're getting to checkout, but they're not buying. Okay, so maybe our shipping costs are too expensive. You're getting that feedback constantly when you're running adverts. So you're able to optimize elements of your business to improve performance. So quite a bold statement I always make when it comes to digital advertising is that it will always work. It will always work. It's a case of being able to optimize your business, your price point, your shipping fees, whatever it may be that's stopping people from buying. Advertising gives you the ability and the visibility to do that. Good. Can't I just boost posts? So again, this is something that I see quite a lot. I will say that boosting posts is better than nothing, but it can be a bit of a waste of money. So on the left-hand side, we've got boosting posts, and then on the right-hand side, we've got running adverts through Ads Manager on Meta. So on the left-hand side, essentially when you're boosting a post, you're showing your content to whoever Meta decides. It will have default settings. It will say, send it to people that are likely gonna follow my page, but you have no more visibility beyond that. So Meta will be making a lot of money from you making that choice. And in comparison, if you're running it through Ads Manager, so I'm just going to zoom in on this. This is the exact targeting that we use for this event, actually. So Bury Football Club within an 8-mile radius, an age of 22 to 50, and then we've left everything else open. But you can choose your location, age, interest, budgets, and goals, and you can start to see all of that rich data in the background. So who's clicked on the link? How far into the process did they get? Did they just click on the link but not fill in the form? Did they click on the link, get to checkout and not complete the order? You get vast amount of data, and that is really what's needed when it comes to advertising. So Lauren, you talked about you've run them before and it wasn't working. Did you ever get to a stage where you figured out why it wasn't working?
No.
And this is the key.
But I also didn't necessarily look into it either. I kind of just thought, I've got X, Y, Z else to do for this event.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, we'll leave it.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it maybe another time.
Yeah.
Rethink it, because at that moment in time I was more focused on the actual event itself.
Yeah, and that's the way. That's the way. You know, like why wouldn't you be? That'd be what the majority of people would do. I think that when it comes to successful advertising campaigns, you have periods of having to analyze the data, what's actually working. So the kind of summary being that targeted ads builds data and measurable return on investment. So it's essentially giving you feedback as to what is and is not working in your business. It's incredibly powerful stuff. All right, so when to invest in advertising. So there's a few kind of rules when it comes to advertising. If you have a new product that you want to launch, advertising can be very, very effective. When you want to retarget and convert leads, again, it can be very effective. This is probably the most powerful one. When you want to generate leads or sales quickly, you can do that through paid advertising. If you want to scale a proven marketing strategy, reach new audiences quickly, or reach local customers. So in all of those examples, paid advertising is almost always, actually I'm going to remove the word almost, paid advertising is always going to be much more effective than organic marketing. One thing that you should be aware of though is what phase is your business in. So if you're a startup, you want to be building that digital presence and that trust. As you're going into your growth phase, you want to advertise your best offers only. And then when you're ready to fully scale, you would go in with full campaigns and retargeting. If you are at that startup phase, that is not the time to go in to advertising, which is kind of summarized by this point. So once your foundations are set and your content performs organically, you should be using advertising to scale what already works, not to fix what doesn't. Massively, massively important. Your business should already be performing in digital marketing, organic digital marketing, before you start spending money. And I think this might be the final slide on advertising. So don't invest in advertising if your website is not optimized. Really obvious, we've talked about it so much already, but sending traffic to a bad website will not yield results. Make sure that your website is exactly the way that you want it to be. Make sure that it's clear, people know what they're buying, people have got clear call to actions and ways to contact you before you consider advertising. The second point is if you don't know what your USP is, so what problem are you solving? How does your solution compare to the alternatives? You must have a really clear understanding of what this is before you start advertising, because you want to be putting forward your best and most enticing offers when you're pushing your offer onto new customers. Third point, if you don't know who your customer is, so an understanding of your current customer base, who are they, why are they buying from you, and how did they find you, is incredibly important because it allows you to know the areas that you're underperforming and where you can invest more time. All right. And then link to that as well if your tracking is not set up. So if you don't have a benchmark of your current traffic and conversions, you need those foundations to be able to basically analyze how well advertising is working for you. All right, so 3 actions to take this week to kind of start you on that journey. The first one is audit your Google and social presence. So how do you show up on Google? So we've talked about it a few times on the presentation. Put yourselves in the shoes of your customer, looking for the service that you are providing. How are they going to find you? And when they do find you, be it on Google, how does that look? Can they contact you easily? Are price lists available? Do you have reviews on there? Incredibly important. The second point is to write one clear line that explains who you help and how. So many people miss this, and I think it's so important to kind of be able to explain very, very clearly what you do and how you will do it. This will form the basis of not just your advertising strategy, but also your organic social media strategy. And then the third one is to take all of that and post one short real video. It's got to be a video, no photos. Are we going to hold them to account, James, or not? Have we got a way of...
We can do.
Okay, we can do.
We can share the details with you, and then you can do what.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want, yeah.
We'll be checking in. No, we won't. A real video introducing yourself and showing what you do. All right. So, does anybody have any questions? We've got, I guess we're a little bit ahead of time, so if anyone wants to go back to any parts or any specific cases that you want to talk about or questions, now is your time.